Hello students, in this video I am going to discuss about the absolute thermodynamic scale and absolute zero temperature. So let's discuss about absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. So as we know about the heat engine and the efficiency of heat engine. So we know about the heat engine. So heat engine is usually operating between two temperature, source and sink. Suppose this is our heat engine. So it will get some heat from T1 high temperature source and it will transfer the heat to the sink and it will give some work or it will produce some work and that work will be transferred to another device for the performance. So this is our heat engine. Now here if we want to define the efficiency of heat engine, so efficiency of heat engine we usually define on the basis of net work done divided by the heat added. Here net work done we can usually define on the basis of this net work done will be what? This WE will be our net work done and it will be defined as Q1 minus Q2. This is our net work done. So the efficiency of heat engine will be what? It will be Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1 or it will be 1 minus Q2 by Q1. So this is the efficiency of the heat engine. Now Q1 and Q2 is what? So Q1 is the heat addition and Q2 is the heat rejected. It is rejected heat. And since it is related to heat and heat is related to temperature, so we can say the efficiency is also related to temperature. Or if we are writing the temperature as T, so efficiency is related to temperature. So here Q1 and Q2 is what? It is the heat rejected and heat. This Q2 is heat rejected and Q1 is the heat addition to the heat engine. So the efficiency of heat engine we can define on the basis of this Q1 and Q2 and the efficiency of heat engine we can define on the basis of temperature also. Why? Because Q1 and Q2 is depending on the temperature. So here we can write down Q1 and Q2 both are the function of temperature. And as I told you, the efficiency of heat engine is independent of the working substance or working fluid, but it depends on the temperature of the sink and the source. So here sink and source temperature we are considering as T1 and T2. So the efficiency of the heat engine or reversible heat engine is the function of temperature T1 and temperature T2. That is the temperature of source and sink. Now the efficiency we can define as 1 minus Q2 by Q1. So this can be the function of T1 and T2. And here if we simplify this, so Q2 by Q1 can be the function of T1 and T2. So this relation we can define or we can write down as Q1 by Q2 is also the function of T1 and T2. All the relations we can define in terms of temperature. So the equation between T1, T2 and Q1 and Q2 defining the same functional relationship, and that functional relationship is known as the temperature scale. These relations are defining some, it is defining what? It is defining some functional relationship between Q1, Q2, T1 and T2. So this particular term is known as temperature scale. And we are defining absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. So this thing also explain what is absolute temperature scale. So here this temperature scale, or we can also write down this absolute temperature scale, which is defining the relationship between Q1 by Q2 and T1 and T2. Now here, let us consider this diagram. In this diagram, we are taking three heat engine, E1, E2 and E3. So let us consider two reversible heat engine, E1 and E2, receiving the heat from source at temperature T1 and rejecting the heat to the temperature T2. Here, this particular E1 reversible heat engine, it is getting the heat T1 from the source. This is our source, and it is rejecting the heat Q2 to another sink. Here let us consider we have one sink that is having temperature T2. So this heat Q1 is heat received by the heat engine, and the heat rejected by the heat engine E1 is Q2, and it will be rejected to temperature T2. Now this T2 temperature now has become source. So we are considering another heat engine E2 or reversible heat engine, which is getting the heat from the T2, and this heat is rejecting to the sink, which is maintained at temperature T3. So just if we are removing this particular source from here, suppose if we are adding one source, so this source should have at temperature T2, and this same amount of heat we can transfer to the heat engine E2. So what we are doing, we are removing this particular source which is at T2, and we are directly transfer this Q2, which is at temperature T2, to the E2, and some amount of heat will be rejected from this E2 to the sink. And here this is the heat engine. So we will consider some work done by the system. So this W1, suppose it is the work done by the system. So W1 we can define as Q1 minus Q2, because Q1 is heat addition and Q2 is the heat rejection for E1. Suppose W2 we are considering work done by this E2. So this W2 we can define, because for W2 or for this E2, heat addition is Q2 and heat rejection is Q3. So it will be equivalent to Q2 minus Q3. So here we have different work done for the heat engine E1 and E2, which is operating between temperature source T1 and temperature source T3. Now suppose another heat engine, let us consider E3, and which is operating between T1 and T3, and the heat is directly transferred from T1 in the form of Q1, and it is rejecting in the form of Q3 from E3. So suppose in this heat engine we are considering work done by the system is W3. So this W3 will be defined as Q1 minus Q3. So here we have all three engines which is operating from the same temperature source, and it is rejecting the heat to the same temperature sinks T1 and T3, but it is giving different work done or net work done. Here W1, W2 and W3 all are considered as net work done. Let us consider this first heat engine. So in this first heat engine, if we write down the equation of thermodynamic scale or absolute temperature scale. So as per the absolute temperature scale, we know Q1 by Q2 is the function of T1 and T2. This is we are considering for E1. Now let us take another heat engine E2. So for E2, the heat addition is Q2 and heat rejection is Q3. So the equation will be what? It will be Q2 by Q3. So here temperature we are considering T2 and T3. So it will be the function of T2 and T3. This is for these two heat engine E1 and E2. Now let us consider the third heat engine, that is E3, So for the third heat engine, it is operating between Q1 and Q3. So Q1 by Q3 is a function of T1 and T3. On the basis of all the terms, we can define these equations, which is representing the temperature scale. Why it is representing the temperature scale? Because it is giving the relation between the heat rejected and heat added with the temperature. But here this E1 and E2, both the reversible heat engine, it constitute another heat engine E3, which is operating between temperature T1 and T3. So in that case, this equation we can take as Q1 by Q3 is a function of T1 and T3. So suppose, so let's consider all the equations. Suppose this is our equation 1, this is our equation 2, and let's consider this is our equation number 3. So from equation number 1, so equation number 1 is Q1 by Q2, and that is the function of T1 and T2. So if we simplify this, so let's simplify this. Q1 by Q3 divided by Q2 by Q3, that is equals to Q1 by Q2 only. So it will be what? It will be same function of T1 and T2, right? So here this Q1 by Q3 is what? Q1 by Q3 is the function of T1 and T3, and Q2 by Q3 is a function of T2 and T3, and here this term we are writing as T1 and T2. So from this particular equation, if we are simplifying or if we are putting all the terms, so we are getting this equation. So the ratio of function of T1 and T3 and T2 and T3 will be equivalent to function of T1 and T2. So here Q1 and Q2 is what? Q1 and Q2 is depending on T1 and T2, this particular term, and it is independent of T3. This particular term, if we see this term, so Q1 by Q2 is depending on T1 and T2, but it is independent of T3. It is what? It is independent of T3. So here we can say this equation, or if we see another equation, so suppose Q2 and Q3. So Q2 and Q3 is a function of T2 and T3, and it is independent of T1. It is independent of T1. But third equation, if we see Q3 by Q1 or Q1 by Q3, so it is the function of T1 and T3, and it is independent of temperature T2. So here for all three equations we can define one term. Suppose let us write Q1 by Q2 is the function of temperature T1 and T2. So this Q1 is the function of T1 and this Q2 is the function of T2. Then only we can define the relation between Q1, Q2, T1 and T2. Why? Because Q1 we are getting from temperature T1 and Q2 we are getting from temperature T2. So this Q1 will be the function of temperature T1 if we are taking it separately, and Q2 will be the temperature of or the function of temperature T2. So in that case we can say this Q2 is not depending on T1 and Q1 is not depending on T2. So this phi we are taking as another unknown function or another function of temperature. Since it is related to temperature, so it is another function of temperature. So this phi, suppose if we are considering common term for both the temperature phi t. So phi t is the function which define the absolute thermodynamic temperature T. So this phi t, suppose this phi let's write down this phi T1 which is depending on Q1 and phi, let's write down phi 1 only. So phi 1 T1 is depending on Q1 and phi 2 is depending on temperature T2. And if we are taking common, so for this we will take common temperature T. So this phi T is defined as a function which define the absolute thermodynamic temperature T. So it is defining the function which define the absolute thermodynamic temperature T. So this T we can take anything, either it is T1 or it is T2 or it is T3 as per the heat addition and heat rejection. So this T is defining the function of phi, and this T can be variable according to the heat supplied and heat rejected. So we can write down this term as Q1 by Q2, that will be equivalent to T1 by T2. So this equation we can define as the absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. This is defined as absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. And this is also known as Kelvin scale. So thermodynamic scale we can define as Q1 by Q2, that is the function of T1 and T2. This is the thermodynamic scale, and absolute thermodynamic scale we can define as Q1 by Q2 equals to T1 by T2. This term we can also define as absolute thermodynamic scale or absolute thermodynamic temperature when we know the exact value of T1 and T2. But here we don't know the exact value. This Q1 and Q2 are defined as the function of T1 and T2 only. But if we have the absolute thermodynamic temperature T, in that case, this Q1 by Q2 equals to T1 by T2 is defined as the absolute thermodynamic temperature scale, that is known as Kelvin scale. Now, one more term which I have to define, that is called the absolute temperature scale. Always have a definite 0 point. Absolute temperature scale always have a definite 0 point. And we can show it by considering the series of reversible heat engine. If we want to define this definite 0 point, so we have to consider a series of reversible heat engine which is transferring the heat from source to sink. So here we have, suppose we have one source T1 and it is giving heat Q1 to heat engine E1, and this heat engine E1 is transferring heat Q2 to another heat engine E2, and then it is transferring heat to another heat engine E3. Suppose if we have n number of heat engine, so this is our E4 and it will further transfer the heat to another heat engine. So suppose if we have n number of heat engine and all the heat engines are connected to each other with the help of some source and sink. So from T1 we are transferring heat Q1 to E1, then this E1 is transferring heat Q2 to E2, then this E2 will transfer heat to Q3 to E3, then this E3 will transfer the heat Q4 to E4, and this E4 will further transfer the heat to, suppose if we have 5, so it will transfer the heat to Q5. So here we have to define the temperature. Suppose this is our temperature T1, so at this point we will have temperature T2. At this point we will have temperature T3. At this point we will have temperature T4. At this point we will have temperature T5. So there is a series. Now as we are considering heat engine, so we have to consider the work done by the system, that is the net work done. So it will be equivalent to what? Q1 minus Q2 for E1. Now for E2, the W will be Q2 minus Q3. Now for E3, the W will be Q3 minus, it will be Q3 minus Q4. And for E4, the W will be Q4 minus Q5. So this will be our work done, and it will be continue up to nth number of heat engine. Now here, if we apply the concept of thermodynamic scale, so T1 by T2 will be equivalent to Q1 by Q2. Now, if we write down this term like this, T1 minus T2 by T2. So it will be equivalent to what? Q1 minus Q2 by Q2. Here, as per the relationship, we can write down this equation. T1 minus T2 by T2, that is equals to Q1 minus Q2 by Q2. Now, if we simplify this, so it will be equal to T1 minus T2 and T2 by Q2, Q1 minus Q2. This is again another simplification. Now, if we see this equation, so this equation we can write down as T1 by Q1, that is equals to T2 by Q2. So in place of this T2 by Q2, we can write down T1 by Q1, Q1 minus Q2. So this will be our equation. And here if we see another heat engine which is operating between Q2 and Q3, and if we write the thermodynamic relation, so it will be what? Suppose it will be T2 by T3, so it will be equals to Q2 by Q3. So we can write down this as T2 minus T3. So I'm just writing this term as T2 minus T3 equals to T3 by Q3, Q2 minus Q3. This will be our equation. Now from here we can write down this as T2 by Q2, that is equals to T3 by Q3. But this T2 by Q2 we know it is equals to T1 by Q1. So it will be continue. So this we can write down as T2 by Q2, Q2 minus Q3. Now similarly, if we are considering another term T3 minus T4, so it will be what? It will be again, it will be T4 by Q4, Q3 minus Q4. So this T4 by T3 will be equivalent to T3 by Q3, and this T3 by Q3 will be equivalent to T2 by Q2, and it will further equivalent to T1 by Q1. So this particular equation will considerable here. This term will be same for each and every term. T4 by T3 will be equivalent to T1 by Q1. If we are considering 5 and 6, so T5 by Q5 will be equivalent to same T1 by Q1. So here in this case, this term we can write down as, suppose if we are assuming equivalent temperature interval like T1 minus T2 will be equivalent to T2 minus T3, that is equals to T3 minus T4. In that case, Q1 minus Q2 will be equivalent to Q2 minus Q3 will be equivalent to Q4, Q3 minus Q4, and it will be continue up to nth or nth heat engine. Why? Because this term is same everywhere. So we can define this T3 minus T4 will be equivalent to Q3 minus Q4, or T2 minus T3 will be equivalent to Q2 minus Q3. So this term will be equivalent. In that case, work done in each and every process, or net work done in each and every process will be equivalent. So here if we are considering a series of number of equal interval between source and sink, suppose if we are considering 50 equal intervals between the substance which is boiling at one end and freezing at one end. So the process between the boiling and freezing condition of any substance if we are defining with the help of 50 equal interval. So it could be realized by the series of 50 Carnot engine which is operating between some temperature source and some temperature or fixed temperature source to fixed temperature sink. So here we will consider number of Carnot engine which is operating between a fixed source and fixed sink. So we can say temperature scale is independent of the working substance. Here there is no role of working substance. Here the temperature scale is depending on the heat transfer between the source and sink or from the heat engine, and what temperature is actually getting and what temperature is actually rejected by the heat engine. So there is no role of working substance here. Only the thermodynamic conditions will be considerable here, which is based on the heat and the temperature. So here every process is running with the help of Carnot engine, and Carnot engine based on the Carnot cycle. So the Carnot cycle we can define on the basis of two reversible isothermal process and two reversible adiabatic process. In reversible isothermal process we consider heat absorbed and heat rejection, and in reversible adiabatic process we consider W work done, that is done by the system and on the system. So if we want to define the absolute zero temperature or the absolute zero scale, so this particular condition we can define on the basis of system. So if any system undergoing a reversible isothermal process without transfer of heat, the temperature at which process takes place, that particular temperature is called the absolute zero temperature. What is this? If any system undergoing a reversible isothermal process without transfer of heat, so the temperature at which the process takes place, so that is called the absolute zero temperature. And here in this particular term we can say at absolute zero temperature the isothermal and adiabatic processes would be identical. So this is about the absolute thermodynamic scale and absolute zero temperature. Now in next lesson I will discuss about the efficiency of reversible heat engine and the COP of refrigerator on the basis of thermodynamic scale. Thank you so much.